Substituting honey for sugar is easy. With just 4 simple tricks, you can adapt any recipe to use honey as its main sweetener. I'm choosing my family's favorite banana bread recipe, which normally uses sugar as its sweetener, to adapt and show you how easy it is to apply these changes. The first step is to reduce your oven temperature by 25 degrees if you are baking. My banana bread recipe normally needs to bake at 350, so I took the temperature down to 325. Reducing the temperature will prevent your dish from getting too dark or over browning. If you make this change, you shouldn't need to adjust your cooking time by much, if at all. Next, use honey for half the measurement of sugar. Simply divide the measurement for sugar in half and use honey instead. My recipe calls for 3/4 cup of sugar, so I'll use 3/8 cup of honey instead. Honey naturally tastes sweeter than sugar, so by reducing the measurement, we can ensure our finished product has just the right amount of sweetness. The third rule is to reduce liquids by 1/4 cup for each cup of honey used. Add the measurements of all the liquids in your recipe. The only one in mine is cooking oil. Then reduce all liquids by 1/4 of a cup per cup of honey used. Check out this handy chart to help you know how much liquid to take out. If you have multiple liquids, you can divide the amount you are taking out evenly between them. I calculated that I'm using 3/8 of a cup of honey, so we'll multiply the 1/8 reduction by 3. My recipe calls for 1/3 cup of cooking oil, so we'll reduce it by 1.5 tablespoons to get 4 tablespoons. Since we are introducing honey, which is a liquid to the recipe, and removing a dry ingredient, sugar, balancing the liquids in our recipe will help maintain a good consistency in our final product. Lastly, add 1/2 teaspoon baking soda for each cup of honey used. My rule of thumb is that if you're using half a cup of honey or less, to use 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. If you're using half a cup to 1 cup, add 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Even if you aren't baking, adding this is important because honey is more acidic than sugar. The baking soda will balance the pH difference. And it's as simple as that. 4 small adjustments and now you have a recipe with honey as its sweetener. After converting your recipe, you can experiment with different types of honey, which will give variety to your dish. I especially like to convert my favorite recipes to use honey because it will help my food stay good longer. Here's my finished recipe with the conversions we just made if you want to try it. For more content just like this, follow us at our blog Buzzing Across America, like our Facebook page, American Honey Queen Program, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.